Hey there everyone, I'm Jonas and today I have very exciting news for you because we, OMPHOBBY, have collaborated with Mikado to bring our ESC telemetry to VBar. So now you can, with one simple firmware update, or if you buy your helicopter sometime in 2024, just one simple cable, you can connect the ESC to the VBar and receive telemetry values on all V-Control models, and with Touch and Evo, even set the ESC up from the radio transmitter. So today we want to take a look at how to update your ESC, how to connect your ESC, and then what you can do and what you cannot do with V-Control and our ESCs. Some technical limitations, some things to watch out for, also how to set warnings. So let's get right into it and get these two talking. So let's take a look at how to update our firmware first. Things you will need: power source, ESC, Bluetooth module. This one is very important. Our Bluetooth module allows you to connect your ESC to your mobile phone to update the firmware. I will put the OSHM number on screen and put a link down below. And of course, your mobile phone. First step, before you do anything, you want to go in on your phone and make sure you have the SUNNYSKY app. SUNNYSKY app is the one in the bottom left-hand corner here. Let me actually record my screen so you can see this better. The one in the bottom left-hand corner here. If you don't have that one, go into the App Store, search up SUNNYSKY. It's the one with the purple icon with the blue X on it. Install it. I already have it installed. Let me actually quickly reset the app's permissions and clear all data and caches. So now it's like it's freshly installed. Next up, you go to the OMPHOBBY website. You will want to find the M4 Max page, which is this one right here, and you want to scroll down a bit. On the M4 Max page, you will want to find support and manual, and there you will find the firmware file for both the 65 and 85 amp ESC. They're combined into one single file, so you can just load it into the app once and update both ESCs. So we go ahead and download that one, hit download, open our downloads, open the file, unzip, open it up. You will see some release notes in here, which I wrote for the ESC update, and you will also find the firmware file in here. Hit share, and then find the ESC app, the SUNNYSKY app. Here it's the last one in my list. Click the app, and it will show you that the firmware imported properly. It will also show you a prompt to allow it to connect to Bluetooth devices. Hit OK on that one. Next up, you want to take your ESC and the Bluetooth module and connect the Bluetooth module so that the black wire faces outward, connect it to the UART port. Then take your battery. You don't actually need to disconnect the ESC from anything like your VBar or your motor. Just leave it all plugged in, it's fine. Next up, take your phone, hit the Bluetooth icon in the top right hand corner, find the BLE for hexadecimal numbers, and hit connect. And it will show you a green circle around the Bluetooth icon indicating that it's connected properly. Go to the firmware tab. This ESC is already updated, but we're going to do it again. Go to firmware update. It will show you the appropriate firmware. It's at the time of this video B3.4 for the 65 amp ESC and B2.2 for the 85 amp ESC. So pay close attention that this is correct. Then hit OK, and it will start updating the firmware. While this process is running, do not switch the app, do not lock your phone, and make sure low power mode is disabled because that has a 30-second auto lock enabled on iPhones. So just let it run through. I will skip this part because this takes like half a minute or so. And we are back with a notice: upgrade succeeded. So now your ESC is updated and ready to go. You can now disconnect the battery, disconnect the Bluetooth module, and you're all ready to go to connect to your VBar. So next up, how do you actually connect your ESC to your VBar? It's pretty damn simple. Number one, the BEC wire goes into the ESC port. The RPM wire, which is the yellow one, goes into signal of the RPM port. Pretty trivial. What's new? You will need a telemetry cable, which is this little guy right here. And the important part is that it does not have to have a ground, but it needs to be pinned out so that you can plug the signal cable into the UART port of the ESC. So we will do that. Plug ground into ground. And it's actually the RX port the signal cable needs to go in. So plug signal into RX, and the other end just goes into the VBar telemetry port with the standard pinout for all telemetry cables. Ground in the middle, signal on the right. With that, we are all ready to go with the VBar. So power up your ESC, wait for the VBar to go into bind mode, switch on your V control. Also make sure you have the OMPHOBBY Telemetry app installed. You will find that in Shop Telemetry. At the time of taking this video, it's not yet released, so I cannot show you this one. But once your VBar is in bind mode, go ahead and bind up your VBar. And you will find that once it connects, it will prompt you to select the battery. Then it will beep at you because your battery is empty, because I forgot to charge it. And then you will see OMPHOBBY Telemetry is up here already. It's currently loading values. It actually helps if you keep the transmitter like a meter away from the antennas, because near field is not a secured connection and stuff gets lost on the way. So now we have full access to VBar telemetry on V-Control. You can see, I can go in here, can see all my status values. I can go in here and set up the ESC. And now is a good time to talk about what you can do and cannot do with this. I mentioned earlier that there is a 65 amp V1 on the ESC firmware. That is because there was a hardware change necessary to make the current and milliamp hour telemetry work with V-Control. So the 65 amp ESC, as it was delivered to this date, is unfortunately not able to display current or milliamp hours, but it is able to deliver you voltage, temperature, throttle opening, RPM of the motor. Just milliamp hours and current is not available on the version 1 ESC. All 85 amp ESCs on the M4 Max have the new hardware, so they will all be able to deliver current and milliamp hours used on the V-Control. In the future, we are looking to update the 65 amp ESC to the new hardware. I already have a prototype running. So those you will be able to update to the new firmware with current telemetry and milliamp hour telemetry, just not the 65 amp V1. Further limitations: V-Control Touch and Evo can both set up the ESC and receive parameters. VBar Control Classic can only receive telemetry and error flags. It cannot set up the ESC and does not have presets. With all that said, let's take a look at the menu. The first thing you will notice is this icon up here for V-Control Telemetry. Tap it once and you will get all your telemetry values and your motor status flags or ESC status flags. If you press and hold, you will get the setup menu where you can see the ESC mode, which is exclusively set from the V-Control setup mode. You can change the motor direction. You can change the BEC voltage, which actually changes the voltage live. You can see it right here. You can also see your temperature monitor, change your temperature alarm threshold and your temperature alarm type. And if you go into expert settings, you will see that you can change the governor mode, as in the governor scaling for M4 and M4 Max, the cutoff voltage, motor timing, governor PI, acceleration and auto rotation restart. If we go to model setup, you will find at the bottom that you have now presets. We have a VBar governor preset, a normal ESC preset, and we can also use the ESC without presets in normal mode or VBar governor mode. So right now it's in normal mode. If I switch to VBar governor, it's sending data. Not only will you find that the ESC mode will be switched to VBar governor compatible, but you will also find that the flight parameters in the governor menu now conform to my suggested governor values for VBar governor and also the ESC governor. So you can see my head speeds, gains, precoms, collective dynamic, all that kind of stuff. It's all in here, preloaded and easy for you, loaded into the VBar. and you can get flying without having to tune the governor yourself. You can, of course, also revert this to the normal OMP ESC preset, where if you go in and check the governor, you will see the outputs are matched to the RPM values in the VBar governor, all to my suggested numbers. And you will also see that the auto rotation throttle is at 27%, which is in the bailout range. So if you just go into idle and click out of it, it will spool up fast. If you go to full off and click out of it, it will spool up slowly. So that's it for the VBar Control Touch and Evo telemetry options. Let's take a look at the Classic. And for the V Control Classic, we're actually going to use the M4 Max, which has the 85 amp ESC. So you can see both ESCs with V Control telemetry and on both radios. And for the Classic, you need to load the app actually through the online updater. So bit different process here, but if you own a Classic, you know how it works. So what you can do here is go to Application Setup, OMP ESC, and find different panels. The info shows you which ESC is connected, the OMP 85 amp ESC. It also allows you to write a log file. Current values shows you all your telemetry stream values. And alarms shows you pretty much all the error codes the ESC can throw. Going into the current values menu and giving the heli a quick spin. As it's spooled up there, you saw the battery current go up, capacity go up, PWM percent is shown correctly. Do it again. Switched off. So yeah, telemetry is also fully working on V Control Classic with all values received. Just cannot set up the ESC through the Classic. Now that I've disconnected the helicopter, you can also see it writes a end log file showing the recent spool up, maximum current, used capacity 2 milliamp hours. So now you know everything there is to know about the connection between OMPHOBBY ESCs and VBar Control. You can now get these two talking. You know how to update the ESC. You know how to use the implementation of our presets, how to get the telemetry values. And I just hope this is a very useful update for you, because I know a lot of people have been asking for it, and now we can finally offer it. So there is nothing left for me except to wish you fun. And in the spirit of the season, I wish you happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, and a Merry Christmas, whichever you may celebrate. Have a good one. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.